Hello and welcome to another edition of HowToBloke. Today we're going to be making some scrambled eggs. Simple, isn't it? It sounds simple, it is simple. And if you've never made scrambled eggs before, then this is for you, obviously. But if you have made scrambled eggs before, stay tuned because you might pick up a few tips on how to make it taste a little bit better. Today we're going to do scrambled eggs for lunch, and we're going to have it with that. I mean, that's not exactly what you should have with it all the time, but it's just an example. So we've got some merguez sausages, some tomatoes cut in half, and a little bit of onion to give it some flavour. So that's going to go with a scrambled egg. Right, what we're going to do, and we'll cut the camera for this, is we're going to break some eggs into this saucepan. It doesn't have to be a non-stick saucepan, but it has to be one that's you can scrape. You either go for a non-stick one, which has a good surface done on it, or one like this one, which is aluminium. The good one thing about aluminium pans is that you can, when you're making this thing, you can really scrape the bottom of it and get all the egg off that you can, which helps increase the size of the portion, and also when it comes to cleaning it, it's going to be easier because there's less eggs stuck on the bottom. And if you've got a non-stick pan, obviously you don't scrape it with a metal thing. You use this wooden spatula or a plastic spatula like that. That's ideal because it's got a good scraping end on the end of it. So you're not going to damage non-stick with this so much when you go to get the egg off the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll switch the camera off now and break these eggs into here. Now, before I go, how many eggs should you use? Well, that's a good question. You can use, now this is a main course lunch, so you need to use 2 to 3 eggs per person. I would say 3 eggs for an adult, 2 eggs for a child. But because we're all hungry right now, this family, I'm going to do 10 eggs between 4 of us. So you do the math. But make sure it's 2 or 3 eggs per person per serving, and you won't go far wrong. Okay, it's important. We've got 10 eggs in here now. I think a little bit of shell's gone in there. So what we'll do is try and hoof it out. But you don't. Last thing you want is crunchy scrambled eggs. I'm not actually sure. Not actually sure at all. It might be, it might not be. Sorry about sticking my finger in, but I need to do this to find it. No, false alarm. Okay, let's just rinse my finger. So we've got 10 eggs there. They're broken up in there. Free range eggs these are. Always buy free range eggs. Or when you can afford them, if you can, because it's better for the chicken to live that way. Right, so what we need to do now is to whiz it up with a whizzer. It's called one of these. So let's do that. So 10 eggs should go nicely between 4 people. Eggs are full of protein, and they are. Oh, there is a bit of shell in there. Right, so I was right in the end. So let me just stop the video there. What can we put in this? What can we put in this egg to give it some flavour? Eggs, well, they have a subtle flavour, don't they? You can dip a hard-boiled egg in some salt and eat it. As delicious. Or you can put some ketchup on a fried egg. That's delicious. Or just pepper and salt. That's delicious. So we need something to go in here. Unless you totally think that eggs are fine on their own, we need something to flavour this. And to improve the texture of the scrambled egg as well when you serve it up, when you eat it. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a little blob of milk. Okay, so we're going to do, we're going to add some milk to this one. You don't have to add milk, but I suggest you do if you have any. If you don't have any, fine. You can also add some cream. Full fat cream, half fat cream. Cream is good, but not sweetened cream, because you don't want the egg to taste to be sweet. That's maybe like that, I don't know, but I wouldn't put sweetened milk in there. Just ordinary standard milk, fresh or sterilised or whatever, but put some in. So how much are you going to put in? Well, that's a good question. Let me show you. Stay there, camera lady. I'm going to come back. So normally I just bung it in and just a couple of big blobs of milk, but I'll show you just how much. About that much. That's all you need. That's probably a bit too much actually, but we'll put that much in like that. You don't need any more than that. Okay, right, so that's the milk's gone in, or you can put some cream. Put a little bit less cream in there. Now we're going to put some, this is my favourite, garlic salt, or this is dried garlic. How much do you put into that? Oh, I don't know. Depends how much you like garlic really. You don't have to put garlic in it. But it's, again, it's a good thing. So about that much I guess. That goes in there like that. What else can we put in here? Now this is my old favourite. These are dehydrated herbs. They're important to remember this. You've seen this in another video of mine. These herbs are not the ones that are dried. Can you put it like a basil or other herbs that grow in a kind of like in a plant. It's difficult to explain. This in here is a mixture of parsley, shallots, garlic, and something else, some chives. Now, those things are all kind of, they're not brown and sticky when they grow. Because if you put for example, herbs de Provence in it. Herbs de Provence, you're going to taste too much of the herb. It's not going to cook through. Herbs de Provence, for example, needs to cook with something. And they won't be cooking enough time with this mixed with the egg mixture. So we're going to put in something that's nice and I'm going to put it soft already. So how much do you put in? About that much. You can get these in any supermarket. They're just the salad seasoning, but I use them a lot for everything. So we're going to put that in there, and we're going to give that a little stir around. Okay, so you've probably seen somebody you know, or you've seen it before. Put some butter in there. Well, of course you can. What does the butter do? It improves the texture of the scrambled egg when you serve it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some. It doesn't have to be actually butter, but butter gives a better flavour unless you use top quality margarine. Top quality margarine, it costs almost the same price, or if not more, than butter does. Unfortunately, I haven't got either top quality margarine or butter here right at this moment in time. So we're going to use a good margarine, omega-3 one, which is about that. You need to put in about that much, I suppose. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. A little bit more, perhaps, like that. So we're going to turn these up a little bit so they're sizzling, so they're ready at the same kind of, more or less the same time as that is. Okay, so we're just going to a little tidy up here. I don't know. Oh yes, that goes on there. That goes on there. And I've lost the milk one for the moment. Oh no, there it is. So a little tidy up. Now, what else can you put in there? Well, no, that's a good thing. That's a good question. You could put smoked salmon in there. Cut a piece. I haven't got a piece at the moment. I can show you. Or unless I don't know if I have. No, I haven't. You could get some smoked salmon, cut it up thinly into cubes or slices, and just at the minute, just as this is getting near to finishing, you can plonk it in, because if you put it in too quickly, it won't. It'll lose its flavour. It'll go all pale. Something happens to it, but you don't want to cook smoked salmon too much. Smoked salmon is supposed to be cooked, not cooked. You eat it raw. So, what else could you put? Lardons in there, chopped up pieces of bacon. You could even put some tarnas in there if you wanted to. It's just think of it as a base to make. It's just an egg base. If you want to put some more stuff, it's quite good as it is. With that, you see. But that on its own, okay, look for a snack or something. But this is lunch. The two together is lunch. It's enough. And I keep it going until 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock when you have your dinner. So let's whisk that up a little bit more. Okay, let's put the ring on. Like that. So you don't need the sieve anymore, that's gone. That spoon can go. These eggs we're going to throw in the bin. the eggshells you can, if you've got a compost heap, which you probably haven't if you live in a flat, but if you've got a compost heap, you can put the eggshells in the compost. It will compost quite nicely. Let's turn this up now. Okay, so we've got this ring on max. You can see how hot it is there. And we're going to use this. Now, you could use this one, or something that's that big spoon, but I find that if you can get something that has a flat edge to it, you can scrape the bottom of the pan, because it's going to cook from that direction. It's not going to cook from the side, it's going to cook up, so the egg is going to get stuck on the bottom of the pan. So you can use that, no problem. You haven't got a spoon, or you can use one of these, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing, just bigger. But I like to use something with a flat edge. Now, so I'm going to use that. Equally, you could use a wooden spatula like that, but the edge of that is a bit rounded, so it's not going to be able to get that egg off of the bottom of the pan as well as that thing does. Look how sharp that is there. Again, don't use anything sharp if you've got a non-stick, because you'll ruin the non-stick coating. Okay, it's on maximum. Now it's important to remember that these eggs cook quickly. When it starts to steam a little bit, they cook really quickly. Getting to that point takes a little while. Make sure we've got our eggs warming. This is something to remember. If you've got a double oven like this one is, you can always use the smallest of the ovens, just to put it on low, the lowest you can get, just to warm the plate through. Now, that plate isn't hot, because I can touch it, but if you touch it, you feel, oh, that's nice and warm enough for that, you see. So the plates are warming whilst you're cooking the thing, and this oven is on just minimum, not even 100 degrees, so the plates will warm nicely. Right, we're hoping this is going to be going pretty soon. It is a small ring, it's not super hot. This is a great ring actually for letting things cook very slowly. Right, what happens is it's important, you can't walk away from this and go and watch a bit of TV or something. You've got to stand over it, otherwise what will happen is you'll come back and it will turn into the thickest omelette you've ever seen. It'll be rock solid in the pan. Maybe that's happened to you before. So you want scrambled egg, or like we like to call it, scrambled egg. You need to stand here and do this. It doesn't take long, so you've got one hand left for the phone, so you can be watching and doing some social media whilst you're stirring this stuff. Okay, now you can see what's happening here. The egg mixture is starting to cook, and you're constantly scraping the bottom of the pan here to skim off, if you like, the thin layer of egg that's cooked, and it will float to the top like that. So it's getting there. Now you can see a little bit of steam rising here. Perhaps you can't. That means the egg is the right temperature. So you're not going to be here till Kingdom Come, or the next day, or the day after that. So it's going to come soon. So keep going, keep stirring it all the way around, scraping the bottom with this nice edge here. Again, don't scrape the bottom with something that's metal on a non-stick pan, because you'll ruin it. Okay, keep stirring. Look at how thick that's getting now. Look. So keep going with that. I'm going to do some on social media. I should be just mixing this up. So, well, it's getting nice and thick. I can feel it sticking on the bottom. Go round. Just like that, and it will come off the bottom of the pan like that. At this point you may want to, it starts to cook too quickly and you can't keep control of it, so just turn the heat down a little bit, just to low to medium rather than hot. Otherwise you'll be wrestling with it, fighting with it, because the egg will be cooking too quickly. You can't get it off the bottom of the pan. Now doing it this way you're going to have an easy clean up. Normally some of you probably don't do scrambled eggs, you think, oh no, I'm not going to clean that pan up afterwards, it's too much, I just have a fried egg, it's easier. Well, doing it this way, it will stop the egg sticking to the bottom too much, and you'll find that cleaning it up it will be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So, there it is. Now, look at that, that's getting there nice and lovely. So we're going to turn the heat off completely. Why? Because the bottom of the pan is still hot enough to cook the egg. And if you keep it on, you're going to overcook it. Now, that is how we want it. Any more than that, it's still in the pan, so it's going to be continuing to cook. Take it away from the heat. This is the heat side. Take it off the heat, put it somewhere that's not hot, and keep it moving. That's ready to serve within 5 minutes. If you leave it any longer, it kind of loses its pizzazz, if you like. It becomes kind of a bit rubbery and the water starts to come out of it and all sorts of things. So as soon as you've made it, you serve it up. Look at that, beautiful. Now that will taste good, trust me. You can put some black pepper in there, a little bit of salt maybe, but basically that's it. And we're going to serve it today. This is just a serving suggestion. Serve it today with some merguez sausages. That's sausages made with lamb and not pork, and they're kind of spicy sausages, and they got paprika in them, so they're kind of like, you know, kind of oriental sausages, I like to call them. Anyway, so now we need to get in there and turn these tomatoes over. When you slice a tomato, incidentally, always slice it. Because some people will complain, oh, I've got the tomato with the core in it. Well, you can avoid that by slicing it the real way. Don't stay there, camera lady. So, in order to stop, over here, camera lady, in order to stop little arguments about who's having the core or not, you slice it down there, so you get the core end like that, and you go straight down that way. If you cut it that way, someone's going to get all the core and someone isn't. So the person who gets that will be laughing, and the person who gets that will get the core. So always cut it down there, that way every slice of every tomato gets the same. There's a top tip. Anyway, we're going to go and eat this now, so maybe we'll come back in a moment. So, there it is, my scrambled egg. Look at that, super, not hard. You can see it wobbling there, that's what you want, okay? Serve it with anything you like really. I've got sausage and tomato, and then you have some toast or bread or whatever. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.